So you're almost 40? Yes. And you've never been married? No. And you don't have kids? No. And you don't want to have kids? No. What have you done with your life? Well...
This message is not for all women with kids, but this message is for some women who like to gatekeep talking about kids to a woman who don't have kids, as if you did something special, as if you busting it wide open for the wrong man and just ended up pregnant because your reckless wasn't just cause and effect, right? As if it make you any more qualified to talk about mothering when you're not really a mother, you just a girl with kids. Like, sis, miss me with it. The only difference between me and you is I have discernment, I have standards, and I won't sleep with a man just because he told me I was cute or pretty. That's the only difference, right? But for some reason, some of y'all girls really think that you did something magnificent by having sex and ended up pregnant. That's kind of how it works. Anybody can do it as long as there's no medical condition keeping her from getting pregnant. You didn't do anything special. You actually being a good mother, now that's being special. But a lot of y'all ain't even that. I mean, let's just take a look at this story right here. These women don't even have their freedom and still found a way to end up somewhere pregnant. They get ready to be somebody's mother if they already ain't somebody's mother, right? So we're not going to act like it takes these special elite qualifications for you to be able to speak on having children as if y'all are all these elite women, you know, who are these great mothers. No, a lot of y'all are just irresponsible, careless women who laid down and had sex, and you got the results of what comes from it, which is a baby. Congratulations. I'ma still speak on it, and it ain't nothing you can do about it.
Here's my 10 reasons why I never want to have kids. Not that a single person asked. I just like watching these videos. Number 1, I'm selfish. I think that a lot of people aren't happy to admit that they are selfish. They then have kids, and then they do nothing but complain. By selfish, I mean I enjoy my own sleep, my own time, and my own money, and kids take all of that away. So unless you're willing to give that all away, because kids deserve everything if you decide to bring them onto the planet, you shouldn't have them. And I'm not prepared to give all my sleep, time and energy away. All my money. Coming on to money, they're expensive. I know what it's like to grow up quite poor. I'd rather go on holiday than pay for a kid. My body image. Why do I want to push something out of my hoo-ha and expand my stomach and my cherries and everything else on me that's going to just change? Number 4, the world is a bad place. The world is a really, really, really bad place. Do I really need to explain that one? Bullying, war, poverty, men with podcasts. Like, you can't control that. You can be the best parent ever and your child can seriously still grow up with some bad issues and bad things going on. A pandemic. There's a long list of things that can go wrong. Mental health. Tell me how you're meant to educate a child on what mental health is without giving them ideas about bad things that are out there, but without making them naive. You can't. There are the kids that grew up with mental health issues, and there are the kids that have no idea what mental health is. There is no in between. My family trauma. I've done a few TikToks on this. They went viral. If you're interested in my family trauma, feel free to go have a little look. If by some weird miracle I end up having a child and I actually like it, I will have to tell that child that some of my family members are unalive, even if they are here. Because I refuse to tell my children about some of the nasty people that I'm related to. It would genuinely be easier to tell them that they're not here. And I don't want to have to do that. So that's a very big one for me. Number 6. Number 7, messy and snotty. Every time I see a child, they just got like crust around their nose, around their mouth. They just drool. They've got food everywhere, sticky fingers. I don't like that. I don't like that. Stay away from me. Number 8, I hate kids' TV. Your kids, 1, they don't need to watch cartoons. Pop on Vampire Diaries, please. Gossip Girl. What about some Friends? Kids' TV, we don't need to watch it. It's boring. It's boring. Number 9, they're annoying. Mummy, watch me do this. Mummy, did you see that? Mummy, Mummy. Fuck off. They're just annoying. They just annoy me. In every sense of the word, they annoy me. They have no common sense. They can't drink. They have to go to bed early. They scream, they cry. They're annoying. Number 10's my favourite. I just don't want to. I just don't want to. Does anyone agree or disagree with any of these points?
I don't know. I'm waiting on God. I don't know. I'm waiting on God.
5 things you need to stop telling someone who doesn't want kids. Number 1, stop telling someone they'll change their mind. Having kids may be the right path for you, but it's not the right path for everyone. There's nothing wrong with finding happiness on a different path. Number 2, stop telling someone they are selfish for not wanting kids. Wanting to have kids or not wanting them is not built on the foundation of selflessness versus selfishness. Number 3, stop telling women they're a waste of a woman if they don't want kids. A woman is not less of a woman just because she chooses a path out of what your perceived role for a woman is. Your perception is not the absolute truth, so don't weaponize it to hurt others. Number 5, stop telling people who don't want to have kids that they're going to die alone. You're pressuring someone who doesn't want to have kids into having kids using fear as a technique. Having or not having kids is not going to be a determinant on whether or not you're going to die alone. Oh, and before I forget, stop telling people it's their genetic obligation to reproduce. It's not.
This is a public service announcement. Don't ask me when I'm gonna have kids because I don't know. And then it gets to the point where I'm like, why do you even care? And it's not the people that I know, it's random people. It's Keisha at Walmart on Tuesday. Like, girl, you ain't had no kids yet? Now, Keisha, when I do have those kids that you're asking me about, will I be able to call you up and be like, Keisha, so remember you kept asking me when I was going to have kids? Okay, I had some. Are you going to babysit? No, because I won't be able to find Keisha, right? So don't ask no questions like that. And quite honestly, if you really want me to be honest, a lot of the people who ask me, like, I've taken my nieces and nephews to Chuck E. Cheese before. I've taken them to parks. And I don't see y'all there. I don't see y'all there with y'all kids. So, you have kids. But I don't never see you with your kids. But you want to ask me when I'm going to have some? Don't make it make sense. Because this don't make sense to me. And on top of that, it's a shortage on babysitters out here. So, you really want me to insert myself somewhere where I don't belong? People that got kids now try to get away from their kids. Kids are blessings. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But if it's not time for my blessing, I'm not going to rush it. And you asking me every time you see me is not going to make me rush it either. Y'all don't even ask when people going to get married no more. You supposed to ask me when I'm on aisle 5 at Walmart. You supposed to say, Ashley, did you get married yet? Y'all skip that. Y'all skip all that and go straight to the kids. Make it make sense. Don't ask me nothing like that. Stop asking me that. Because my responses is they're going to be less and less nice.
Reading all these comments has been both heartbreaking to read everyone's stories, but also really heartwarming just to know that a lot of us are in the same boat and feel the same way. I think this comment sums up a lot of what I've been seeing. A really common theme is that it was just really unexpected to get into your late 20s, 30s, 40s, and feel just really isolated and like you lose all your friends if you are single and childless. I know I was completely blown away at how kind of quickly life shifted. And it's been really hard to adjust. Just like new moms have to adjust to mom life, you have to adjust to not mom life once you get to a certain age and everyone around you is doing it. And also that people don't understand that doing every single thing alone can be really difficult, like really fucking hard. Cooking dinner alone every single night just for yourself is kind of hard. It's kind of disheartening, even if you like being alone. Going on vacation alone, trying to buy a house alone, going on a walk alone, all of these things is like, it's just, you know, your friends want their husbands and their kids to be involved in everything, and you just have to go along with it and be happy. And wins when you're completely different, no longer very difficult. So I see you all, men and women. There were a lot of men in the comments too saying this happens to men too. I appreciate you. I see you. I wish we could all go out and get margaritas. Maybe one day we can go out for a child-free, partner-free margarita fest. But in the meantime, thank you all for sharing. You know, cook dinner tonight and we'll all just think of each other and have a grand old time.
Okay, so what do you mean when you say you don't want kids? I mean, I don't want kids. But like, how do you know for sure? Because I do. So you never think about having kids? No, like never. But like, okay, think of it this way. Do you want to be an astronaut? No. Like, how do you know for sure? I just do. I don't want to be an astronaut. So you never think about being an astronaut? No, why would I? I just told you I don't want to be an astronaut. Okay, so anyways, like you really,
The conversation conversation that they don't want to talk about. As a black woman who don't got kids, it's hard for me to make friends with a lot of black women because they already got kids, right? And they have to make accommodations. They have to get babysitters. A lot of times their conversations consist of mom topics. I have nothing to relate or contribute to those conversations. So a lot of times we just don't vibe that easy, right? It's nothing personal. We just don't vibe like that. And so with that being said, I can only imagine how it is as a man trying to come into the situation and date you for real, and all of the accommodations he has to make to be in a relationship with you. I don't think y'all really think this stuff out. I don't think you really understand how difficult it is when you involve yourself with people who don't have kids. It makes more sense when you deal with people who have children because they can relate a lot better to the situation.
Hey, it's my teacher face answering some of the most common questions I get on my Childfree by Choice videos. By far, the most common question I get about being childfree by choice is, when did you make the decision? And I think with this question, a lot of people want me to say, oh, there was a day in November of 1998 and it wasn't that. For me, it's more of the fact that I never saw myself as a mom. I didn't really play with dolls. I didn't play house. I didn't enjoy babysitting. Little kids are okay, but in small doses. And then when my friends started having kids, I was just like, oh, hell no. It was just solidified everything. Whatever that gene is that makes somebody want to be a parent or want to be a mother or have that maternal urge, I don't have it. And I saw a TED Talk about it years ago. I think it's called the Meest gene or something. I just don't have it. Because it was never an aha moment. It was always just who I was.
I don't have kids, and it was the greatest decision I ever made. My husband and I have been married 15 years. We knew we never wanted them, and I almost feel like I can't brag about the fact that I don't have them, or even talk about how great my life is without children. But do me a favor if you're on the fence. Go ask your friends with kids to describe their perfect day. Like, if they had a day, what would they do?
Guaranteed it doesn't include their kids. Like 100%, it's like go to a hotel, watch Netflix, get room service, do whatever I want. That's my everyday life. Like, you describing your perfect day is my everyday. Just, you don't have to have kids to be happy.
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
That people who don't want kids actually understand the implications of having and raising a child and view children as little humans who will eventually form their own thoughts, feelings, morals, ethics, and sense of identity, and not as pawns who can fill whatever emotional need you may or may not have.
I decided I didn't want to have kids when I was 15 years old, and despite it being almost 15 years later, people are still telling me I'm wrong. To the woman who told me I would change my mind, to the guy that told me that no one's gonna want to marry me, to the person who told me I was selfish, to the woman who told me that having kids was my only purpose, to the male doctor who told me my life wouldn't have meaning, to the ex-friend who told me that after I have kids, all of my previous accomplishments will seem meaningless. I know I'm supposed to say that I forgive you, but you know what? Fuck you, man.
Hello everyone. How are you? Okay, I got 82 people in here. This is such a good topic, because I know that a number of you who follow me are child free by choice. And I definitely want to hear your opinion on why you don't want children, because it's a very controversial thing. It shocks people when women who are in their 20s, in their 40s, do not want kids. There are many doctors who will refuse to let you tie your tubes, have a hysterectomy, because they usually think, you'll change your mind the older you get. And there are a number of women who haven't changed their mind and have known they don't want kids. And to some people, they don't think this is normal. They believe that every woman has a natural instinct a natural urge to be a mother. And if you don't have that, something is wrong with you. That's how a lot of people look at women who haven't had kids. They might assume you can't have kids, and that is in some cases. But I want to hear from you who chose not to have kids. So shout out to everybody, okay? Everybody in the chat showing me love. Y'all, I got thank you, Sinvera. Yeah, I got my little baby picture up here, y'all. Y'all don't see me when I was a baby? So I have some questions that I'm going to be asking you. Let me put it up on the screen. When you call in, I actually got to call somebody back who called in. Okay. Thank you. All right. So where's these questions? I got a few more questions besides what you see on the screen. I want to know, how old are you? I want to know, why don't you want children? I want to know, how do men react? How does your family react? Do you even date men with kids, since you don't want kids? So do you date men with kids? How do you listen? There are a lot of women who say they don't want kids, but hey, you're going to have sex. You run the risk. So how are you avoiding having kids? Did you get your tubes tied? Did you have, I wouldn't say a hysterectomy. They probably not going to do that for you. But did you get your tubes tied? Are you on birth control? Besides using condoms, because condoms do break, are you on birth control? And how long do you want to be on birth control? This is so good. So I want to say, for me, I would like children. It's easy to have, it's so easy for a woman to have a child, usually. Okay, I'll take this call, but yes, I want kids, but I don't judge women who don't. Sometimes it's not in the cards, but this is for the women you chose not to have a child. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes, I can hear noise in the background.
I just turned it down.
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
are you child free by choice?
I didn't hear you.
Are you child free by choice?
Am I child free by choice?
Yes.
What kind of question is that?
Well, you did call in here. Huh?
Yeah, but wait a minute. Yeah, I was calling into a hotline, open line, phone line, to a question that was on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, she must, I don't know. Okay, that was interesting. Okay, she called the wrong number. So I would say, listen, I get very offended when I've heard men, mainly black men, when women in their 30s like me don't have kids. They think, number one, they assume we've had abortions, which I've never had an abortion and I've never been pregnant. Or they think something's wrong. No, it's women like me who are picky about who we're going to have as the father of our children. Not all of us are reckless. Yes, mistakes can happen, but damn, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. You do have women who want kids, but I'm not going to have kids with just anybody. I could have had a baby if I wanted to. It's been offered. But I'm not just going to get pregnant by any man. And it happens to women that the biological clock ticks. You start to feel the pressure. It happens to most of us. You start thinking, "Oh my God, am I going to end up having kids?" If you want kids, I did not have the urge for children until later in life. Like, I've had that baby fever feeling probably 3 times before. I think of breastfeeding and stuff, or I see a cute baby and I want a baby. Um, and there's been one man that I know I would like kids with. There's one man that I know I would want kids with. Okay, I'll continue later. Hello?
Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
Hi. Take my rubber bands out of my braces so I can talk better. There we go. I'm calling in to state why I do not want kids. I love this video and I think this is just awesome. And I'm one of those women. Are you ready?
Oh my God. Okay, well let me ask you some things first, okay?
Sure.
You are child free. You don't want kids. That is your choice. How old are you?
I am 34 years old, child free. I do not want kids. And I am very successful.
Now, okay, 34, you can still have a baby if you wanted to, but you don't. How old were you when you knew you did not want to have kids?
It's like one of the ladies in the video that I love her response, and I'm very similar to her. I knew it since I was a child. I never wanted kids, never. I never liked to play house. I never liked doll babies. Whenever someone told me I was going to be the mommy or, or the wife or, you're the mommy and you're the wife, it made me cringe. I never wanted to be anyone's mother or even wife. I always wanted to just live my life. I never wanted kids, and I knew that since I was young, and I still do not have kids till this day.
Now, I'm going to ask you two things that people would ask you. It's a stereotypical question and maybe even offensive, but I'm not trying to be offensive.
No, you're welcome.
Are you a heterosexual woman?
I am. And that's a lot of questions I get too, even from my mom and family, and it angers me so much. Everyone's always questioning, are you gay? Do you really like women? Because I do have some gay friends. I actually have a friend who was with her man, baby daddy, fiance, whatever. They've been together since college. We all went to college together. 15 years down the road, she just broke up with him, and she just went back gay. She went back to woman, or she's with woman now. And she just can't take it with them anymore. But no, I am not gay. I'm a heterosexual woman. I just do not want kids.
Now, let me ask you this. What another person would say is, you just haven't met the right man. Have you ever been in love?
Yeah and no. It's kind of hard to say. I loved them at the time. Do I still love them? No. Did I love them enough to want their kids? No. If I say I don't want something, I don't want something. You can't change my mind. Just like the lady in the video was funny. Like, you don't want to be an astronaut? No. Why don't you want to be an astronaut? Because I don't want to be one? I don't want to be a mother. I don't care who I'm with. I don't want to be a mother. I don't want kids. I would prefer to adopt in the future.
Okay, now, have you ever experienced, as they say, baby fever? You see a cute baby at the supermarket and it's looking at you and you just think, oh my God, I want one. Have you ever had any kind of urge, an urge to breastfeed and hold a baby?
No. Babies are cute and they're beautiful and they're sweet. I do not have baby fever.
Okay.
And even I want to say too, with one of your statements, which I love you said too, Cerebral as well. I never had an abortion. I've never gotten pregnant. I've never had an abortion. I always made sure to be careful. And then even then, I'm not, I'm not always constantly in relationships. I can go years. Sometimes I've been years without sex. So me getting pregnant wasn't even an option because I'm not having sex at this time, or I'm not dating anyone at this time. I'm very careful.
Now, if you do start dating again and you're with a man, you're having sex, what are you going to do to make sure you don't end up pregnant?
I'm dating now. I'm dating a Puerto Rican man now. He's trying to get me pregnant. He's trying to lock me down. It's not happening. We were just arguing. And what I'm doing to protect myself, of course, is we wear protection. I don't do birth control. I've never taken birth control in my life. I don't like to take pills or any of those shots or anything. I feel like they would cause side effects. I've never taken birth control. I'm always careful. I always make sure I'm protected. And I may take a Plan B afterwards sometimes just for extra protection. But no, he can't get me pregnant. I don't want kids, and it will not happen.
Do you feel... Oh, so I'm sorry. I was going to ask you, if a man wants to get you pregnant, y'all both have two different plans, and do you feel like you're wasting his time? This man wants kids, so shouldn't he just...
No, I've already told him from the get-go I don't want kids, and that's why I will be breaking things up soon. We have some similarities, and we have some differences as well, and I see my future going different. He already has kids. I'm like, you have kids already. Why do you want me to have a baby for you? You have kids. Go tend to play with, spend time with your other kids. Why would you want me to have a baby? I'm always cautious of men, especially certain men, as you know, who are always going to lock you down or trap you. And it just won't happen for me. I'm like, I love my life. I wake up, I do what I want. That's probably why I sound a little funny too as well. I may have had 3 hours of sleep last night. I was up late. I got up early. Can I do that if I had kids? No. Can I travel the way that I do if I have kids? No. Would I be successful as I am? If I had kids, I would probably say no as well too. I love my life. I do what I want, and I live a very good life. And that has come about, I think, for me not having kids. I have lots of friends and family members who are not where I am, because when you have babies, your life changes,
Now, here's the thing. He's mentioned he wants to impregnate you. Has he ever said he wants to marry you?
Well, he talked about marriage as well. He wants to marry me. He wants me to meet his mother. I've never met his mother. But there's a lot of red flags from him, too, that I'm not ignoring. A lot of women ignore red flags. I'm not ignoring them, which is he's doing a lot of love bombing, right? He's telling me he loves me and, I just love you so much and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I don't believe it. And I don't love you. So I'm like, where's all this coming from? It's moving so fast. You love me? You want me to have a baby? Just a lot of men you have to be cautious of. They have ulterior motives, and if they see you living a good life, making a lot of money, you have a good head on your shoulders, you're intelligent and very successful, they will trap you. And I've seen a lot of successful women get trapped as well too. That would never happen to me. If I say I don't want a baby, I don't want a baby. I love my life. I live my life, and I live a very successful life.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so the men you have dated and that you date, besides him, how do they typically react when you tell them that you don't want kids and they realize you're serious?
That's a good question. There is disbelief. It's like not saying the 5 stages of grief, but there's denial. They go through the stages. They're denial. They're angry at me. They try to bargain with me, right? Those are the stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargain. In the end is acceptance when a relationship has ended. But a lot of men can't take it. They can't take it and they can't understand it because that's what a lot of women aspire to, right? They aspire to have a man and kids, and that's how I feel like a lot of men get women. They dangle that carrot in front of them. I'm going to marry you, or we're going to have kids and all, and just try to be women be submissive and subservient as well too. But a lot of men think on women wanting them, catering to them, wanting to marry them and have their kids. I actually got into the argument with the same guy. Got into the argument maybe a week or so ago, and I was very nasty. I can be very nice and very nasty. And in the end, I told him, having your last name and your seed is worthless. It's all worthless to me. I don't want your last name, and I don't want your seed. I see no value in it.
Damn, you told him that?
Want something? I told him that.
Ooh, Lord.
I'm ruthless with you.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio. I hurt his feelings. I hurt his feelings really bad. He was really mad at me, but it is worth it. It is. Unless I deem it valuable, it's worth it to me. I am smarter than you. I make more money than you. I'm pretty looking. My family comes from a good family. My background is better. Me getting with you and marrying you for what? So I can become your base? Your sex slave? So I can be subservient to you? No, absolutely not. Your last name is worthless, and your seed would be worthless, in my opinion.
Oh my God.
And never is valuable.
See, I listen, if you treat me bad and you talk to me ruthless, I can bite back. But I know that I can crush you with my mouth, if you know. So I hold back sometimes. Like if I'm gonna tell a man that, I don't know if I'll do it in front of him because I think I might get slapped, you know. A man, he might slap me. So I might tell him some shit like that over the phone where he can't get to me. um so how does your family react, your mother and relatives, when they find, they know you don't want kids?
Yeah, that's another issue too that I'm tired of dealing with them about. I've had to put my mom, I hate to say, I love her, I'm from the South, and we're very respectful to our elders, right? But it's becoming lately, or she's lightened up now, but, in the past, I had to kind of put her in her place, which is, stop, leave me alone. What am I? I'm the baby of the family. I have a half sister. I'm trying to count the number of kids, but there's about 5 of us all together. I have, including me, there's 5 siblings. I'm the baby. I'm the only one who doesn't have a child. I'm the only one. I actually have a twin sister too. I'm the only one who does not have a child. So all my parents and family members are looking at me. You don't want kids. Why don't you have kids? The constant questions of my sexuality, So even then, I kind of have to check some of them and put them in place and make them realize the person they're married or who they're with. And I told them, look at so-and-so, look at this person, look at that person. I said, all the men they're married are horrible. They're horrible. I honestly think majority of men out here are horrible. They're not good people. Very few and far between. My dad's an awesome man. My brother's an awesome man. But there's very few women that I see in relationships with good men. And I'm pointing that out to my family. This person married a loser. This person married a drunk. This person's with an abuser. I'm like, look at the relationship. You guys don't see what I'm seeing. You really don't. I think if men were a lot better, I wouldn't mind maybe, looking for something more or wanting to get married, have their kids. But a lot of men are just horrible. But my family, they don't understand. I think they're coming to terms now. Because I had to change my mind. I'm getting older, and I still not have changed my mind. The only way that I would change my mind if I married a millionaire, he would have to be super rich, and provide me with a good life. And even then, I was still questioning having his kids, But, not to talk a lot of girls on this tangent.
A lot of women, because I had been asked by a relative, when you gonna have kids. I think I was still like in my mid-20s, and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, there are people, a lot of women in your families or friends, they'll put pressure on you when you're gonna have a child, and they got kids, and I'm thinking, you're not even happy. You're not even happy yourself. So why are you trying to, like, I don't know if you want me to be in the baby mama club or something, or you feel that my worth is nothing if I don't prove my womanhood by popping out a baby. It's like I do want kids. I have a dream of popping out at least 4, but I don't know if I can go through labor that many times. I don't know, but so my thing is that just because some of us don't have kids don't mean we don't want them, but I do care about my kids' future. I don't want to just get pregnant by some dusty man that's going to make me a baby mama, not be in the child's life. Okay, we don't have a good relationship, or I think that having a child is a big fucking deal. I do. I don't. I've seen it. It can ruin your life. There are women whose lives have been fucking almost destroyed because they weren't prepared for kids. The man they was having sex with, they wasn't in love with each other. The children suffering, you suffering financially because you got to keep food on the table and for the kids, and you trying to be a single mother. Having a baby is not a small thing, and you know, and if a man, yes,
You're right on the money.
so and and one of the problems with society, they really is this is deep. This is about control of our bodies, our vagina. You don't have a right to tell me what makes me happy because people have this warped view of what being a woman is. Women don't curse. Shut up the freak up. Don't tell. I listen. I'm working on it. I'm being better, but that don't mean I don't get mad. Shoot. That don't mean I don't get mad. But women don't do this. Women don't desire this. Women don't think like this. All these men online always talking about what women do and don't do. You ain't me or no woman. You have an idea of what a woman is. And we've been trained since we were little. And yeah, I want my nice, happy relationship, and I'm full of love, but damn, I don't judge women who don't want kids because what I think is happiness might not be happiness for you. Everybody's happiness ain't the same. We're not all into the same thing. We don't all have the same desires. Some girls said they want babies at 20. I didn't get the baby urge until like later on. Every now and again, like I said, I do want kids. I do. But I don't know. If it doesn't happen, you could adopt, you could freeze your eggs and stuff. But women like you know you don't want kids. Now, so would you date a man who has children?
I am now, and he doesn't have full custody. I think he sees them like, every other weekend, and we haven't met yet, and that's at my own doing. I want to meet his family. I want to meet his mom. He's trying to get me to meet his mom and his kids. And I told him right now, it's too fast. We need to move slow on this. I would date a man with kids, but preferably older kids. Preferably older. They're at college, they're out of the house. Not some kids that, someone with kids that have to co-parent with. I think that's a messy and sticky situation. Same thing, I've seen lots of, horror stories about stepmoms and stepdads and, disrespect here and there, or, the mom maybe not like the child and the child doesn't like the mom. So it can be really, a really sticky matter. So I really don't like to date men with kids, and if I did, I would prefer them to be older and out of the home.
Now, there will be people who will say, you might change your mind, or you don't know what love is. You're going to regret this when you get older. Who's going to take care of you? Yeah, you ain't going to feel like a woman when you get older. Tell me this. What makes you feel fulfilled?
My freedom. Overall, it's my freedom, I think, that makes me fulfilled. Even going back to my family again, right? We talked about family and other stuff as well. I grew up in a pretty tight-knit Southern family, a tight-knit, strict Southern family. I come from parents, good middle class family. We all have education degrees. We all had a good upbringing, but there was a lot of, sometimes I feel like a lot of control, right? A lot of control, and in order to get certain things, we had to, do what our parents wanted, and I always felt like I needed to get away. I always wanted to be free and get away. I don't care if it's for family, friends, a job. My job allows me to travel and go anywhere and do what I want. I've moved across different states. I've had my rent paid for many years. I never even paid rent. I've always, my end goal in life for me to be happy is to be free. I can't stand to be tied down or constrained. And I think all that goes back to my childhood. Just coming up with a strict family, I was like, I need to break free. I want to do what I want to in life. And that's why I live life the way I want. If I have kids, if I have a husband, I'm not free. You got to work all day. Depends on who you marry. You marry a millionaire, you marry a man with less money, same money, whatever. But let's say, you're doing these 50-50 relationships you always hear about. I have to work all day, come home, cook, clean, tend to the kids. It's so much. It still please men at the end of the day. I'm not free. I have to be free in life, or otherwise I won't be happy. And there's a joke, I probably won't say it. There's a joke my friends and I, we exchange back and forth between each other, especially when it comes to me. And I don't know if I'll say it because it's inappropriate, but it's a joke when I really value my freedom, and if I didn't have it, I don't know what would happen, right? Just people go through a lot of things in life, mental, physical, all these kind of issues, and you see it on the news daily. I say, if I have kids and I know I don't want kids, I could possibly end up on the news. I could end up on the news for hurting myself, or me having a mental breakdown, or anything. So it's like I know what I want in life, and I know what would cause me to have a breakdown and not be able to function. Why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? I just watched a news story the other day about it. I see so many. And I know, as a person who knows what they want in life, I know what to do to do what's best for my mental health and my happiness, right? And I'm glad that I didn't follow what society pushed us to do. Pushed me to get married, or pushed me to have a bunch of babies. I would have had a mental breakdown. I would have straight up had a mental breakdown. You see it every day. You don't have to have kids if you don't want kids. You don't have to get married if you don't want to get married. Each person should do what they want in their life and what pleases them and what makes them happy. Like a lot of women did in your video. I love their responses. That's why I called in. I was like, that's me. That's me all day. That's
Yeah.
me.
There's just a lot of people. This is global. It's even worse in other countries where they make it very known that they feel the only worth you have is popping out a baby. But there are people who, in my opinion, they don't even need kids, abusing their kids. They didn't want them. Got all types of crazy stuff going on with them. Raising up the babies horrible, and they have them because their mother and father and the pressure. There's a Indian grandparents. Oh, no, they're not grandparents. In India, the son got married. He's been married at like 5 years. They haven't had a baby, and his parents are suing them because they feel like you have to have children. And in other countries, it's it's a lot of pressure. But in America, it is becoming more accepted and more common, women not having kids. But then you got men all over, right here on YouTube, on these podcasts, shaming you, thinking, oh, is something wrong, or you're gonna, it's like, well, it's your body, it's your choice. Again, people always think they know or they feel what a woman should be, how a woman should feel, what a woman should desire or should not desire. And I think that is ridiculous. But me personally, yeah, I want a baby. I think about breastfeeding and stuff. I want to look down at my baby looking at me and hold my baby and stuff. I do. And but I don't want to just do it with anyone, because I think is serious. That's a serious decision. So, you know, I mean, there is someone I would want a baby with, but I ain't gonna talk about that. But I do want a baby.
Well, I support you, woman. It's a lot of you, a lot of my friends, and I support all of them wholeheartedly. And that's the thing. I don't ever, right? Just because, and that's what makes me so mad about other people, right? They try to talk us into having kids, and I'm like, I don't try to talk you guys out of having kids. I support you. I support you wholeheartedly. I'm a godmother to so many kids right now. To tell people, please stop looking at your godmother. Please stop. I can't take on any more babies and being a godmother. I support my friends wholeheartedly. I clap them. I cheer them. I support them. I spend a lot of money on them, which is probably why they want me to be the godmother too, because they know I spend money. But I support all my friends and family members wholeheartedly. The thing is, whatever makes you happy in life, and it's not, whatever, it's not dangerous or illegal or whatever, I will support you. So if you want to have baby, I'm like, kudos, all for you. I love that for you. I'll support you. I'll be 100% behind you. I'll be the godmother sometimes, and that's the thing. We support them, but in return, they're questioning me, like women like me. If you want kids, I don't want kids. My thing is I support you, so you support me in return. Don't ask me questions. Don't grill me. Don't have all these things you think about me. Oh, I could be a lesbian, or I'm this, or I'm that, or I'm infertile. I'm infertile. I can't have kids. My uterus is fine. I'm not gay. I just don't want kids. And I think when society comes to respect each other's decision more, like everyone's so against each other these days. All these crazy groups out here, the anti-vaxxers and vaccines, red, blue, everyone wants to be so oppositional. I'm like, why can't we support each other? If there's no harm, there's no foul, there's nothing illegal going on, why can't we support each other and everyone just be happy? So once again, they want to project their idea of happiness onto you. And they're not, a lot of them are not even happy at the end of the day. They just want you to be doing the same thing as them. I'm like, no, I'm different. I've always been different. I always will be different. We just live our life. Live your life the way you want to. Be happy is what I say.
Okay. So listen, I thank you for your call. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Cerebral. I don't get a chance to watch as much as I used to, but I do send you cash ups every once in a while. I will send you a cash up, and I'll probably do it again this week when I get paid, Cerebral. Love your channel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, girl. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye. Okay, so before I call someone back, there were a few clips that I didn't show. I want to show this one again because honestly, this just cracks me up. It was the last clip. It cracks me up at the end.
I decided I didn't want to have kids when I was 15 years old, and despite it being almost 15 years later, people are still telling me I'm wrong. To the woman who told me I would change my mind, to the guy that told me that no one's gonna want to marry me, to the person who told me I was selfish, to the woman who told me that having kids was my only purpose, to the male doctor who told me my life wouldn't have meaning, to the ex-friend who told me that after I have kids, all of my previous accomplishments will seem meaningless. I was supposed to say that I forgive you, but you know what? Fuck you, man.
Lord. The ending is just like, wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so some people, again, they always say, will she regret it? Is she sure?
Some thoughts on Mother's Day from someone who's never had any children. I was at a store yesterday waiting in a very long line for a while, and I kept hearing all the cashiers saying to everybody, Happy Mother's Day, have a great Mother's Day.
Hold on, DJ. Hold on now. You said I've honestly never met a woman who says they don't want children. I know a few women like Cerebral. I do want children. I didn't say I didn't want children. Just say they can't find no one to have them with. I can easily find a man to have a baby with. I've been offered children before already. I'm just not going to have children with any man. That's not happening. You know, I want my children to have a good father, and for us, me and the father, to be in a relationship, preferably married. If we're not married, we are together, but, but yeah, I'm not just going to get knocked up by any damn man I'm dating or that tells me they want me to have their kids. Oh, tell me, DJ. Sorry, I'm not mad at you. Just don't think that. But yeah, I could have had a baby. It's not hard for any woman to get a baby, but I'm not just going to get pregnant by any person. No, I don't. Mm-mm. And what's crazy is that when my mother, when people have asked her about her children before, about her if she was a grandmother or not, and she told them, well, my daughter wants to be married, they looked at her like she was crazy because it's gotten so bad that that's not even seen as normal for a black woman to say. I just don't want to be a baby mama. Now, the older I get, some of my views have changed a little. I've changed some of my views some. Things change a little when you get a little bit older, the men you meet. I would prefer to be married and have my kids. If I weren't, we are in a long-term relation. We're going to work this out, but I don't want to be a single baby mama, you know. That's all I'll say for now. But I would prefer to be married. So, okay, let's continue with this video. So she's in her 40s and, she's child free, but she has the thoughts every now and again.
Tomorrow, happy Mother's Day. And I stood in line and I wondered, this will be interesting. So I checked out and the lady said, happy Mother's Day if you have kids. I thought that was interesting. I just kind of said, yeah, and I just walked away. And it got me thinking about all of these thoughts that I think about on a semi-regular basis. I'm 40 years old and I've never had any children. I've never really thought I wanted children. I've never been someone who's longed for children. But at this stage in my life, I sometimes find myself wondering if I made a mistake or if I should have wanted children or if I should have had children or if it's too late or maybe I'll have children in the future. I really enjoy my life. I have a niece and 2 nephews who I adore and I love spending time with them. And most days I feel like that's enough. And other days I feel like maybe I would want a child someday. And then other days I think I absolutely do not want any children. My husband and I really enjoy living our life and doing whatever we want, whenever we want. And maybe that's enough. But then you think, well, what will happen in the future when we get older? And when we're older, will we regret not having kids if we don't have kids? It's a very weird place to be. And it's a place that I often wonder if anyone else is in. I feel like if people don't have children by choice, it's a very strong, like we are not having children by choice. And I've just never been that way. I've just kind of always gone with the flow. And if I had kids, that would be cool, I guess. If not, that's cool too. Some days I think maybe I would be just terrified to have children or even terrified at the very thought of having children. But then I see my niece and my nephews and I think maybe, I don't know, it's weird. Can anyone else relate?
Okay, I wanted to share that clip. And the last clip, this is kind of amazing. I'm not sure how accurate this is, what they claim is going to happen in America with a lot of women here.
It's 45% of working women by 2030, or in the working age, 25 to 40, are expected 45%, so almost flip a coin, 50% almost, will be not married, no kids, okay, by 2030.
I don't know if I believe it. I don't know. That's a high number. If 50% of women end up childless, I'm sorry. In my mind, I think something's going on with the men, because the average woman wants a child on average. On average. But there is also a number that don't. A lot of women, they want to travel. They have dreams they want fulfilled. The rent is high. You got women who have no choice but to be independent. They got to pay bills. They want a house, or the men are trying to be the women, and it's hard to meet your person. And some women just give up on the hope of children and stuff. Some don't want children, and some just give up. So Above Ruby's TV says, if they didn't have to work, would that possibly change their perspective? It might. It might. But I was surprised when I hear of, in some videos I've seen, women who knew they didn't want to have kids when they were little girls, and now they're like, oh, way older, and they still feel that way. Sometimes that urge, I guess, or baby fever just doesn't happen for all women, and a society cannot accept it. Even though there are men who also know they don't want children. Okay, I'm looking at.
I'm sorry, but the person.
Okay. So the phone line is open. The phone line is open. I'm going to read some of these comments in the chat, but if anybody wants to call who does not want children by choice, come on and call up. Okay. Kathleen King says perhaps women, their mom's crazy choices and why they don't want kids. Men can get vasectomies. Jack says, I'm totally rooting for you, Cerebral, to find the right man to have children with. You have great genetics for anyone to pass down to children, and you're very intelligent. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm going to have a vulnerable moment. Like I said, I didn't have the urge for children until I was like in my mid-20s. And I don't know, a part of me thinks it maybe if it didn't happen, I maybe could live with it. And then I even once thought, if I don't have kids, I think I don't want to live no more. I mean, I'm going. I've had those thoughts. Listen, I'm a woman. I'm a human. I thought to myself, if this don't happen, I don't think I'll forgive God for doing this to me. And then I've had other thoughts where I'm like, well, maybe I would be okay. Just live my dreams and be happy and just accept it, accept what it is if it wasn't to happen. I know it's easy. I could easily do it, but I don't want the wrong man to be the father of my kids. I don't want to ruin my unborn children's lives and stuff. I think about that type of stuff, So thank you, Sinvera. You said, fair enough. I've had similar thought process. It's okay, And I get irritated when the men be talking crap about women in my age range. Oh, again, if she ain't got kids, oh, something must be wrong. And ain't nothing wrong. Or she had an abortion and they lie. And I've heard them say that. I'm like, that's some bull crap. That is a lie. We don't all end up pregnant all the time in our life. Jeez. Just because they see a lot of black women having kids all over the place, they're in amazement. Like, oh, she's not unattractive. She's nice, but she doesn't have kids. I remember some guy cursed me out this was like, I've been on YouTube for a while, like 10, 11 years. And it was this guy, he got mad because I think he was a child sexual assault type of person. He said something to me and he was mad as hell. At that time, I didn't even have kids. He's like, oh, yeah, see, no man wanted to give you the baby. I'm like, you don't know me. I've been offered, a man wanting me to have his baby. But that's how they see it. They think, well, okay, is there anything wrong? Or we know that a man would want to impregnate you. So, yeah, but it's called being careful. I mean, damn. And I get nervous about a man trying to trap me or destroy my life, to have control over me, like trying to make me a baby mama just so he can always be in my life and trap me. Whenever a guy says talking about having babies with me, but you ain't said nothing about us in a marriage or being together long term, I don't find that attractive. That scares me and turned me off. So hold on, y'all. Got a troll up in here. Hold on. Tina says men trying to impregnate you is not a badge of honor. To a lot of women, though, they think, well, if he wants me to carry his baby, he must value me, or he thinks I'm special. He wants to make babies with me. I've been chosen. So, okay. So let me look more in the comments in the chat and see what's being said. Let me go up some. Okay, I'm going all the way to the top if I can. It says, stop giving these men sex just sitting there and never getting a ring, says Sandrina. Shauna Fisher, who is a scientist, y'all, says, I get my dose of kids, believe me. Since the Blesser sister says, it puzzles me that people think marriage is more responsibility than having children. Make it make sense. Okay. Trish was responding to someone. Some men want you to go 50-50 and be a traditional wife when they aren't even a traditional man and don't know how to build a damn thing, let alone IKEA furniture. Okay. Mind Over Matter says, nobody is going to use me to mammy their kids. I have so much that I wouldn't do for free. It will not cast my pearls among swine. Okay, let's see. Above Ruby's TV says, I've been told, I told my relatives not to expect children out of me. Sorry, not sorry to disappoint as a first daughter/granddaughter. Speak to my cousins and them with that. Okay. Cosmic Chlorophyll. She can be in a relationship, just find a man who doesn't want children, but most of these men see women with no children and be ready to make them a mother. Yeah, this guy I was dating said, you need some children. That's when I started getting nervous because men might try to, you can be with a man and he's using a condom. You know men be poking holes in condoms too. They'll say women poke holes in condoms. No, men poke holes in condoms. Or they pull it off. And now that's actually considered a crime by the government. I think it's called stealthing, when the person takes it off and you don't know it. Okay. Sandrina says a lot of child-free women want to be Oprah, but not everybody will get that. Get a dog and a husband. God, Love, and Freedom says, before having children later in life, I was never pressured by anyone to have children. Maybe it's the circle I kept. Trish says, misery loves company. That's why a lot of women that have kids pressure other child-free women to have them. Okay. Rihanna's bank account says, I had kids, but it was not my initial thought. Giovanni S. says, I love my freedom, money, body, and sanity too much to sacrifice it for kids. Mind Over Matter says, I don't date men with kids. I don't want them draining my energy or resources. I don't even want him to have nieces and nephews that require me to look after them. I won't do it. God, Love, and Freedom says, if you don't want children, I don't understand dating a man with children. It doesn't make sense. Philistine says, who's going to take care of you? No child owes a parent nothing. I'll tell you this, if I had kids, and I know I would be good to my kids, and I get old and you fuck me over, excuse my language, I'm not going to forgive it, to be real with you. I got a call from Germany right now. Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah. Hello. I think you yeah. I'll be with you.
I know we spoke before, and we're supposed to. I know I didn't give a date of when we'll do the next interview, and I still can't hear you that great now. But let's try again.
Yeah, I want to contribute to the topic. Can I contribute to the topic?
Okay. If I can't hear you great, I won't be able to keep you on the line. But don't talk too fast.
Yeah, yes, of course, yeah. So what I just want to say about this that I can't claim any woman who doesn't want to have children. You know, children are a huge responsibility. I'm not going to talk about for myself. Why am I not want to have children? First of all, is because of my history of illness. Since I was a young girl, I was frequent.
Hello? Hello? Call back if you can hear me. I can't hear you at all. Dondi says, I have a 50-year-old married and successful aunt with no children. She doesn't need children. I'll care for her. Okay. You know, and that's a video I want to do in the near future, because the spiritual whistleblower on TikTok was like, if your parents weren't good to you, don't take care of them. When they get old, that was what she was saying. And people got all upset. My thing is, if I have kids, I raised you, I loved you, I supported you. And then when I get old and I need you and you fuck me over, I'm gonna go to the fucking grave mad about that shit, to be honest with you. I'm not saying I'm gonna try. Listen, I wouldn't want to be a burden to my kids if I get old. You know, if I have to go to a nursing home or something and they just can't afford to take care of me, if that was the case, I'll do it because I want them to live their life. But if you don't come fucking visit me, bitch, you might get disowned if I'm 90. After all I know I would do for my kids and all the love, and that's how you do your mama, I don't play about shit like that. Because I would never fuck my mama over. But then again, I didn't, I understand if she abused you or something, you grew up with a terrible parent. I get it. But I ain't playing with you. If you my child, you better not ever do me fucking dirty. I don't give a fuck if you grown. Because I believe, I don't care how grown you get. I gave birth to you. You always my fucking child. That don't mean I'm going to treat you like a baby, but you my fucking baby. I don't give a fuck if you're fucking 50 and I'm 90 or something. I gave birth to you. I'm your mama. Shoot. And if my child needs me, I don't give a fuck how old they get. I will be there for them, if they really need me, you know? And yeah, I just know I would give my children love, all the love in the whole fucking world. And I expect that fucking love returned back to me when I get all throughout everything and when I get old. And if you turn on me and treat me like I hear how some of these people get treated, oh man, I don't give a fuck if I can't even walk and I'm 90. You gonna hear something from me and I'm gonna go to the grave mad and hurt about it. I would never accept it. I'll tell you, I would tell my child off, like, hold on now. If you ain't visiting me, checking on me, oh hell no. Because the role reverses when your child, you raise the children, and then when you get old, you become the child. That's how it happens. Now, if I'm not good, which is not going to happen, but if you haven't been good to your child, yeah, I hear the stories. They don't visit them in the nursing home. They be dying alone. If people who abuse their children physically and was just shitty to their kids and the kids have nothing to do with them, I can understand that. But if your mama or daddy was good to you and you are not good to them when they get old, you are a fucked up child, in my opinion. It would break my heart just watching my mom get so old. It's beautiful because you're like, I'm so happy they're still alive. But then you get the anxiety, they're going to pass away sooner. And it's heartbreaking, and then you see them they start to shrink. The older they get shorter, they get skinnier. You see, you feel so happy and blessed, but at the same time, just so sad knowing that it's getting closer. The anxiety, So when you've been loved right by your parent, it's the most wonderful thing. And there are so many people who don't know what it's like to truly be loved by their mom or dad. It's so sad. It's so sad the stuff I've heard some of you say up on here. I've had people jealous. Yes, people jealous of my relationship with my mother. It's like, it's not my fault your mama was fucked up, okay? And I mean that respectfully. But my mom showed me what love is. She's like my best fucking friend. And we like to do a lot of the same stuff. And I would die for her. I would kill someone for her. I'm straight up with you. And I can't imagine trying to, no. I don't even want my mom in a fucking nursing home. Fuck that. I don't want that. It's like being in a fucking prison. I've been in a nursing home. Ain't nothing but fucking brick walls painted, maybe a flower on the window. And you just got a little room. I feel like, I don't know, like I would want to make it to be old, but then I'm like, if you're going to put me in a nursing home, you might as well fucking kill me. I'm already going to be dying in there. I can't get out and go nowhere. They decide what I eat. I can't go for walks or go where I want. For me, a perfect way to die if I'm old, get me a chair, sit me in front of the ocean, get me some grapes, a nice drink, maybe a Coca-Cola. I want a good meal. Get me a little cat and a chihuahua and sit them in my lap and let me look at the ocean in my last moments. I don't want to be locked up in no fucking nursing home prison. I would probably try to escape out the nursing home every damn week. Oh, gosh. And if you want to do something nice, just pop up at a nursing home and go visit the patients and talk to them because they be lonely in there. A lot of them. Can you imagine what it's like feeling like you in a damn prison on your last days? Oh, hell no. You know, I even think about things like if I get married or a serious relationship, he has to know my mother will have a room. It has to be a room when she gets old, if I'm able to, have her with me. Any man that would ever tell me that my mother isn't welcome in old age, bitch, you gotta go. 'Cause you ain't gonna never. No, I'm not even playing that. I ain't even playing that. I would never be with a man who tries to influence me to treat my mom like she ain't nothing, or you can just dispose her. It's over. I'm not even fucking with you. Hello?
Hi, is this Illegal?
Yes, it is. How are you?
I am good. This is Sister Crows. I called in because I was watching your live as I was preparing for work this morning, and I found the topic fascinating.
Okay.
And I'm actually one of those child-free people that you guys are talking about.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. Now I will be asking the same questions. How old are you?
How old am I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give that.
I mean, are you in your 30s? Are you in your 40s?
I'm in my 30s.
Okay, you still young. Okay. How old were you? How old were you when you realized you didn't want kids?
I was 19.
19. That is young as shit. How did you know for sure you didn't want them?
How did I know?
Yes.
How did I know? I just never had an affinity for children. I mean, and it's weird because children like me, and I'm cool with children, but just the whole thought of it is just something that's never been desirable to me. Never been desirable to me.
You never, any time in your life, did you ever have baby fever or an urge to give birth at all, or hold the baby, breastfeed, nothing, anything like, oh my God, I want a baby?
Actually, the opposite. I don't look and be like, yeah, no, it's a no for me.
Now, I'm going to ask the same question. Don't be offended. Are you a heterosexual woman?
Yes.
And have you ever been in love?
Yes.
How do men react when you tell them and they see that you are serious, that you do not want children?
How do men react? How have men reacted? Some are shocked and then some are cool. I think it's been 50-50.
Do any of them try to convince you to have their children?
I've
guys hint around like, oh, you'd be a beautiful mother, or I wonder what you would look like pregnant. And when I got those kind of conversations, it was maybe like a week or a week and a half later before I dropped that.
Oh God.
Immediately, and I faded to black on that ass because there's no way. Because I know if I know you're plotting like that, I'm definitely out. I'm out quickly.
Okay. So how does your family react? How does your mom react?
My mom is really, really cool with it. She's cool. She's completely fine.
What about your father? If your father's in your life, how does he feel?
My father is fine. My father is fine with it as well.
Okay. So do you date men with kids?
Absolutely not. For what? I want to be free, and the person I'm dealing with, I need them to be free so we can move and do the things that we want to do.
Have you had your tubes tied? How do you avoid pregnancy?
Oh no, I'm healthy as a horse. No, I've never even been pregnant.
No, I said how do you avoid it? How do you, because you can still get pregnant. How are you taking precautions to not get pregnant?
I mean, I don't really think it's that hard as a woman to be sexually responsible. I really don't find that hard. If you know how your cycles work, if you know how your body works, and you've been knowing your body for a very, very long time, and you're really genuinely in touch with yourself, you can go without having any kind of mishaps or I just think people when they say they just accidentally got pregnant, I really believe it's something to do with the fact that they're not really in tune with their body. And they're not aware of how their cycles are.
Okay. So, all right. So you don't want kids. The men react a certain way. You don't date men with kids. Do you feel at all that you might regret this decision? Do you think about when you get older in age about having family legacy or who could help take care of you and stuff like that? Do those thoughts run through your mind?
I have siblings, and we're very, very close, number one. And number two, having kids doesn't guarantee that they're going to be your caregivers once you get past a certain age. Some children, once they get older and they're adults themselves, they don't have the mental fortitude to take on the undertaking of dealing with a parent. And a lot of people don't look at those things. They think that when they have children, their children are supposed to take care of them. And in an ideal society, yes. But some people are just not mentally built for that. Some people just don't have the mental fortitude to do it. And some people just not built that way to, even if it's something that they wanted to do professionally, or not professionally, but like even if they wanted to do it, some people just don't have the capacity for either financial reasons. Maybe they don't have the home. Maybe they, have a family of their own, and picking up that burden is a little bit more. I mean, there's a lot of factors, and then some children just don't want. Once they get grown, they don't want that undertaking. And people that have kids automatically assume that that's what their kids are going to do for them. They need to rethink that. Not everybody's going to do that for them.
Okay. So, what makes you feel, people might think, as a woman, this is your duty. This is your life calling, damn it. This is why God created you. You supposed to give birth to the world. That's your purpose. So, that's what people will say. You are, no. So what makes you feel fulfilled?
What makes me feel fulfilled?
Yes.
I like my freedom. I like being able to travel. I like my life with my friends. I like my life with my partner. I like my life, I just like my life. Like, I like my life as it is. I like to be able to come home to beautiful furniture and not have fingerprints all over them from little ones. I'd like to be able to come home and meditate and not have to smell sweet diapers. I'd like to be able, I appreciate When I leave, and I do what I want to do. Even in my dating life, I don't have to answer to anybody. I get up and go, and I come when I want to, and I just live my life. I like being able to say, okay, if I'm in the mood for a 5-star restaurant, I don't have to budget that in or I have to budget that time out because, I got to factor this in with babysitters and this, that, and the third. I like my lifestyle. And I would not compromise that for the possibility of having possible complications during birth, the possibility of not having a parent, of being a single mom. I'm sorry, children don't look appealing. I see women, even when they're in happy marriages with their husbands and the parents or the father is still in the home, these women look tired. They look stressed the hell out. They look like they need a vacation. Their body is falling apart. They're neglected. They don't have no time for themselves. They just look drained. It don't look sexy. It don't look appetizing. They look worn the hell out. Even women that are proud to be mothers and that they love having their children, they look worn. They don't look well taken care of and taken after. They look like they've been depleted and won't cry. That's just not a look I desire to wear. It's a no for me.
Let me ask you this. Are you a religious woman?
Am I a religious woman? Depends on what you mean by religious.
Do you go to church?
Do I go to church? I used to.
Because I was going to ask you, what does the congregation, if they know, do they bother you and stuff, religious people?
I mean, to be truthfully honest with you, I've always been my own person. Nobody's been able to shame me into doing shit. Like, you can't shame, there's no shaming me. What I want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm very confident. I know me. I'm in tune with my number 1 star player, myself. And I do what I want to do, and ain't nobody going to make me do something I don't want to do because you feel like it has something to do with religion or, status quo or with society. No, I know me. If I say, you shall not pass, you shall not pass.
Okay. Now, I didn't ask the previous callers this, but even though you don't want children of your own, would you ever consider being a surrogate and getting paid $50,000 to carry someone else's baby?
So I'm going to hold somebody else's baby and tear up my womb and rip off my body and have a parasite off of for the sake of somebody else's child so they can keep their body intact and look the same way they did when they got married walking down that aisle. No, thank you.
They said they're going to give you $50,000.
Guess what? I can listen. I can earn $50,000. I can earn $50,000. That's not nothing.
Okay.
Guess what? When you single and free, you can get that bag. You can get that bag. When you got kids, you got to move things around and time spots around, and no. Mm-mm. And I got to sit up, listen to the house and scream at kids, and then they be carrying germs, and you got to deal with sniffles and chicken pox and first day of school, and no. And then until look at everything that's happening and what they are like putting these kids through right now. Like, I'd be terrified to be a parent. Like, all these weird indoctrinations they're trying to indoctrinate these young kids with at an early age. Parents got to do way too much to keep their children on a solid path nowadays. And kids are expensive. And just because they turn 18 or 19 and leave the home, don't mean there's a possibility they still come back. Later on in their late 20s, 30s, they come back home because of everything else. No, ma'am. Don't have a pet before I have a child.
All right. Okay. So listen, I thank you so much for calling. Y'all, don't be scared. I think some of y'all scared to call in. Tell the world why you don't want kids. A lot of people be assuming stuff, but this is y'all chance to speak and let the world know I don't regret my decision. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I enjoy your show. I've been watching you for years, but this is my first time calling in, so thank you for
Oh my
entertaining me.
God. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Okay, so the phone line is open. I'm going to share another clip because I had a few clips that I did not share. You know, what I showed earlier. Just interesting things of women who are child free. And I want to share and show some more of their stories. Where is that clip at? Give me one quick little second. Let's see. Give me a second. This might be it. I'm not sure.
What is the most unprofessional thing a doctor has said to you?
I went to the doctors to get my contraception changed, which at the time, and still is, it was the coil. Now, I personally don't want children, so I asked if I could have the 10-year coil. She responded with, no, I'll give you the 5-year because it'll be easier to conceive. I explained to her I didn't want children and I would prefer the 10-year, please. She then said, no, I'm going to give you the 5-year one. Which I politely said, no, I really would prefer the 10-year one, please. Then she asked me, why don't you want children? Which I just responded with, not really my thing, financial, never really wanted children, not really a kid person, or, you know, just normal reasons. Which she then said, what's happened in your past to make you feel this way? Now, by this point, I'm getting a bit pissed off, so I said, nothing, I just don't want children. She responded with, you're getting very defensive, aren't you? I'm not confrontational, I ended up leaving. I ended up going to a different, that was my doctor, I went to a clinic to get my contraception changed. I actually ended up going for the 5-year one because the nurse who gave it to me, or the physician, whoever it was, said she would prefer to give me the 5-year one because there's less complications and she doesn't like the idea of a foreign body being in somebody's body for that length of time. So I was like, that's a valid reason, okay. So I ended up getting the 5-year one anyway. And then I recently had it changed again, like this year. No, not this year, last year. And I ended up getting the 10-year one that time and no problems. Don't invalidate life choices!
Okay.
Is it just me, or does the thought of having kids start sounding real weak when you approach 30? So I turn 30 soon, and I've been thinking, like, I've made it this far in my life, spending money on myself, doing whatever I want, eating whatever I want, going to sleep whenever I want, picking up and traveling wherever I want. And the thought of stopping all that for a kid that costs, what, $300,000 to raise right now, it's not giving.
All right, let me see, what other clip do I have to show?
So recently there's been a study done saying that women in their 30s, legally single with no kids, are the happiest demographic. But I remember like 15 years ago, there was a study done on the same demographic saying that they were the unhappiest demographic. And the science was saying that women without kids were less fulfilled than women with kids. So I'm just like really curious about this drastic change. Like, is it a change in lifestyle or expectations or propaganda? The conspiracy theorist in me is like, it's depopulation. But yeah, comment your thoughts.
If you are over 30 and you don't have children, I want you to duet this and tell me what you love about
Hello, it's me. Hi, my name is Laura. I'm an American living in Germany. I will be 32 next month, and my husband and I are child-free as fuck. I used to want kids. I did. And there's still a small piece of me that does, like 1%, because I know if we did, they would be super smart and super fly. But I think what did it for me was being a teacher, 1, and 2, the world is a dumpster fire. I think when you hear people say marriage is hard, it's because they have kids. And I don't mean any disrespect by that. I know parenting is a hard job. Bless y'all. It couldn't be me. It's stress-free over here. Our only responsibilities are our plants and our German Shepherd. Randomly, my husband will look over at me and be like, you want to take a train to Paris this weekend? Yes. Yes, bitch, I do. Do what you want. Have kids, don't have kids. But hear me when I say you can live a fulfilled life without them.
Okay, everyone, I have a call. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, very good.
Okay.
So,
Okay, good.
are you in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s?
I'm 26.
And how old were you when you knew you didn't want to have children?
Ooh, probably in my early 20s. I don't know. I just didn't think that motherhood was for me. I just didn't have that desire to, like, just be a mom. Like, you know what I mean? The desire is just not there. Like most women, they want to get married and have kids and stuff. But me, honestly, I'm afraid of being pregnant. So
Well, what scares you?
never wanted to. Well, I mean, of course, the labor pains and carrying a baby. And, I hear a lot of women go through stuff at night when they're pregnant. Maybe they can't sleep and, stuff like that. So I just felt like I'm the type, I love getting my sleep. And, it just, I don't know, everybody, motherhood isn't for everyone. You know what I mean? And I've actually know some Black women that are older than me that never had children that I worked with or that I went to church with and stuff like that. And at first I thought I was like the only one, and then when you start to look around or do some research, you realize that you're not alone. Like there's other like groups out there that have like child-free couples. So there's some men out there that don't want children either.
Okay. Now, you're not in your 50s, but I want to read this comment from Ashley Nicole in the chat. She says, what do you do when you're 50 and you're no longer jet setting, funning, traveling, and much more? You're near retirement. Then what when your dating pool dries up? And I think about that. Like I said, I know I want kids, and I know if it doesn't happen, like I said, I've had the thoughts. I don't know if I want to live, or maybe I could deal with it. But of course, I would, I don't see how any woman could reach 50 with no kids and not think about it at all. But some of you said for sure. Now, there will be people who will tell you, you're still in your 20s. You just ain't meet the right one. You probably might change your mind. Yeah, I'm scared of having labor, going through labor too. I'm scared of the pain and stuff. That scares me.
Yeah.
But, it's what we got to go through as women who want to have kids and have kids. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever met a man that you wanted to have as babies? The thought of it.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real transparent with you on here. No. And then, like I said, I just turned 26. I was a caller from the other live that you did about the nursing stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember me, but no, because I really like my life. I really like, working, making good money, and get to do whatever I want, and but no, I haven't met a guy that made me feel like, wow, okay, I would love to be a mom to his children and carry on his legacy and stuff like that.
You see, and I can't speak for you, but I tell you, when you know for sure and you meet that right man and you are in love with him, or sometimes you just know, like, okay, you're the one. You're the one. I want to bear your fucking children. I want to have your fucking kids. I'm not playing with you. I want your kids. I want the DNA, half of me, half of you. I want it with you. You're the one. You're the chosen one. And I mean, it happens.
Yeah, we get that.
It happens, because I hadn't met any man in the past that I felt could be the father of my kids in the past. Like, no. Like I said, there's, just one person I'm thinking, it's like, yeah, I would like him to be the father of the kids. But, okay, so you're 26, scared of labor. You want to,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But I felt like it will be hard dating because I'm child free by choice. So it is kind of hard to like maybe find a guy that don't want children at all. I just feel like, because I do like older men, so I feel like I'm better off with older men that probably already got grown kids already and that's done having kids, or maybe he just never had any. I don't know. But because I definitely don't want nobody around my age. I feel like a lot of guys my age, like I wouldn't get pregnant by a guy my age right now, and I'm not trying to like sound rude, but a lot of them are just like dropping kids everywhere. And to be transparent with you, I was also scared of like, because a lot of women say after the baby, gets here, it shows a man true colors. Like, you don't know if he's going to just up and leave you, start acting weird, because a lot of women have said that, that happened to them. So, I feel like even if I were to have children, it would have to be with, a man with some money, because there are certain things I would like my children to be a part of that's going to cost money.
Well, you do have to choose. You have to. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got to be careful with who you choose to have kids with. And I had a relative who said, you don't have the child for a man, you have the child for you because of that, because they can up and leave you, So don't just have a baby because you think it's going to keep them, And you got to be careful. Some men do switch up after the baby because, you gain all the weight and you breastfeeding. Some say the vagina walls are not as tight. Or they get mad, after you have a baby, they sew you up and you're not even supposed to have sex for like a month or two.
And I feel sorry for the women that got their husbands or their boyfriends keep trying to get with them and they're not even healed yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's very, like, he just don't care about your body. He just want what he wants. You know what I mean? And, I just feel so sorry for women like that. But I just felt like, I mean, I've been told, even by my OBGYN, other people, like, oh, you're saying that now, but then you're going to have some kids when you meet that one and this and that. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, but the desire is not there. I'm not saying, I don't think I would be a bad mom or whatever. I feel like I'll be a great parent if I wanted children. But, to be honest with us child-free women, by choice, the desire to raise children, like, we just don't want the responsibility, because a lot of us, we just like to travel around, keep our money to ourselves. A lot of us like to sleep all night long or, stuff like that. And some of us don't even want to be married. I mean, I would like to be married, but there's a lot of women out there that said no to marriage.
I'm going to do a whole live call-in on that because I'm curious to know what would make a woman not want to have a husband, there's issues with that. I will have to dive deep with that. I can't listen. I don't have kids, but I believe with everything in me that if you think you don't want kids, and let's say you end up pregnant, I don't think anything can replace having a baby you popped out, stare into your eyes, and tell you, "Mommy, I love you." There is no way that is not going to touch your soul, because that baby is a part of you. You're their everything. You're their world, and they love you. Ain't nothing like the mama. The daddy, of course, too, but their mama, and they stare at you. They follow you. They want to be next to you, and then they tell you that they love you. And it's the purest form of love. Nobody will ever love you like your child. If you're a good mother, okay, all that bullshit you go through with people, but that's the one person that truly fucking loves you. And it's sincere and pure love. So let me calm down. Listen, I don't believe that type of love. I mean, but it's your choice. It sounds to me, just listening to you, I think it could still happen for you. I don't feel like you 100% sure. I don't know. Now.
I think because I said that, because I get what you're saying. Like, I do feel like, oh my goodness, if I was to hold my baby, it's like, wow, oh my goodness, a part of me is here, and oh my goodness, like, I have a baby, like, you know what I mean? Of course, I would, like, fall in love and stuff. And I do believe I would be a great mom. It's just that my desire to actually be pregnant and have children is just not there in me, because I felt like I would have, like, at least had one by now. Like, you know what I mean? So I've been told by my OBGYN, oh, you're saying it now, and this and that. I'm like, no, I don't want any kids. But then a lot of men act like, when they first hear that you don't have children, it's like, wow, that's like music to their ears. So we do go through stuff like men telling us, well, you don't have any kids and this and that, like they're happy about it. But then you have some men that'll criticize you for not having kids. Some men refer to women as just breeders.
Yeah, I only hear people in the gay community say that, and black men.
Yes, I just didn't want to say nothing, but yes, especially, I haven't heard the gay community say it, but it was black men that I would hear. It was actually a TikTok video about that. Like, I think he just said he had the nerve to sit there and say we're nothing but breeders. And that's why I started, like, looking at other men outside my race.
That guy is probably gay. That guy's probably gay anyway. But
I personally feel like any man that, you gotta watch how they talk about women. If he's talking down on women, sitting online, making a whole bunch of videos about women and our vaginas and all this other stuff, he don't like women. He don't like women, so you just gotta be careful with that too. But I mean, yeah. So a lot of us women, and I'm a Christian woman, by the way. I'm not like, and there's a lot of us Christian women that don't want children. And I know some people might not like that, but I just feel like you can't tell somebody what to do with their body. Like, there's some men out there that don't want kids.
There's a lot of them.
I heard a lot of them was out there having vasectomies.
Yeah. Once Roe versus Wade happened.
Yep. Yeah. And they said the vasectomy rate or something went up, and I guess they said, let me just go get it now and stuff. And a lot of women are scared of pregnancy. I mean, I'm not talking down on it. It's just I heard a lot of things about what pregnant women go through that I know that I don't want to deal with. And I just don't know how to describe it, but I hope I'm making sense. It's just the desire to take care of children is just not there. And we also get this misconception about child-free people that we must hate children, or like we're selfish and stuff like that. And, oh, you're young, you need to have them now, so when you get older, you won't be like 40 trying to get a kindergartner ready for school and stuff like that. And, we hear a lot of stuff, but in reality, some of us, we just don't have that desire. And, like I said, it's just not there to, a lot of us just don't want that responsibility of raising kids, and they feel like that's too busy for them, you know, and stuff like that. You know, they might not even have enough money to try to raise a child. So it's like, why would I get pregnant?
Okay. Now I have two questions I didn't ask anybody. It just hit me. I should have asked every person this because this can happen. Did you have any childhood abuse or trauma in your life that might have affected you not wanting to bring life into the world?
Yes.
Okay. Was it verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse?
I would say emotional and verbal. Um, but I don't think, like, even if I was to bring a child, I do believe I'll be a great mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us Black people are standing up against generational curses, and we're breaking that. I believe I would be a great mom. It's just that I never wanted any kids. And yeah, so that's all it was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some of us women, it's just the desire is just not there. Like, you know, and I do know it might be hard, you know, probably trying to find somebody that feels the same way, but I don't know. I hear a lot of older women say, like, you know, I'm trying to watch my words, but they'll say, like, you know what, you can get married and everything, but a lot of women are saying marriage isn't even worth it. They just love being alone and single.
You know why a lot of women like
living their life.
a lot of women saying they like being alone. It is, I mean, freedom is great. I mean, but thank you, KB and DJ. It is great having your freedom. I mean, every woman is different. I just think a lot of women, because the quality of men has gone to shit so bad. So many women have never been in love because the men haven't been good to them. So your heart hardens up and you feel like I don't have nothing to look forward to. Every man has been shit one after the other. And you lose, some of these women have lost their love desire. Their hearts have been broken, or they've never even had anybody open their heart. So they rather just be alone and live their own life and enjoy their life. And some women do just enjoy traveling, but eventually sometimes I don't care what no woman say, going to bed alone in the bed can be lonely for some women, especially when you want to have sex. Okay? You know, and you don't have no man. I ain't trying to hear that some women just happy going to bed every night alone and you ain't craving no man. I don't believe that one.
Yeah, you're right.
But
I'm that woman.
so, you know, and men playing it off too like they hate women, and we already saw the study that men are the loneliest they've ever been. They're sexually frustrated. You know, it's just, but you know, every woman can do her own thing. So, now you said one thing I want to say though. You said you're talking about older men. Honey, a older man would want to impregnate you too, especially you young. He'd be like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna put my seed up in that. She young and fertile. Young." I hear they on here right on YouTube all the time talking about they going to marry somebody half their age and give her a bunch of babies. And you would be a target too from older men because some of them still want to prove they got it going on and making a young, you know, fertile girl pregnant and stuff. And hey, he still got sperm, so he can still make you pregnant. Um, so you don't mind if they have kids. You know, they're grown though, kids.
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to. Now, I do have an exception. So, I know that, I hope this don't sound so bad, but, like, let's say you come across a man who's a single father of, like, one child, and let's say the mother, like, for example, like, passed away, or maybe she's, like, you know what I mean? Like, I could see, you know, that happening, like, me dating a guy like that, you know, but other than that, I think that's the only exception that I have, because, you can't help what happened or whatever, and he's like a single father, but he's like a really great guy, and he got honestly, yeah, he has money. So, I could see that. I do feel like I'll, be a great, stepmom or whatever. But I think what scares me the most is pregnancy.
Now let me ask you this. What are you doing? What are you doing to avoid pregnancy?
Well, I've been celibate for like a year or a year and a half. And the same way I'm talking to you, I talked to my OBGYN because she's a black doctor and she's like really cool. And I just told her straight up, like, I'm honestly scared of these men. A lot of them like to get around, don't use condoms, or I heard of men like poking holes in condoms and stuff to intentionally give you something.
Yes.
What else? A lot of them won't go to the doctor. What else? So I don't trust, penises. And like I said, I work in healthcare too. So I will see like people come in, like both couples coming in getting an STD check and stuff like that, or they talking about it burns when they pee and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
Girl.
I actually had a couple get into a fight at the hospital because of what was going on. I don't know if he gave the girlfriend something, and you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And even my doctor said it. She said, yeah, girl, these men are nasty. So be careful. Like, a lot of them don't believe in going to the doctor, getting checked up. Even if you can, hey, could you go get tested? You know what I'm saying? They'll get upset. You know what I mean? So, and it's mainly the men in the black community that's like that. And that's scary. I'm like, how do you not care about your sexual health?
Look.
Because I don't need it if that's how you are. You know what I'm saying?
Look, if you dealing, hold on, I got the troll back. Hold on for a second. Make sure that you have them present you with the paperwork of the test results. If you could be in there with him when the results are read, that would be best. But if you're not,
that would be best.
You need to see the documents because these motherfuckers out here lying. It's scary. It's just, it is nerve wracking. But even though you're celibate, if you start dating again, are you going to get on birth control? Are you going to use you're going to do things to make sure you don't end up pregnant?
Well, actually, I think it's best I wait till I'm married because I just felt like I'll say it like this, I don't want a man renting my body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, you have to marry me and stuff like that because I'm not giving up nothing.
Hold on now. What race of man do you want to marry? Do you care?
Honestly, no, I don't care because I expanded my options ever since I've been listening to your channel. Like, you really opened my eyes. I feel like I get treated better by men of other races. Yeah, so
I'm gonna tell you just like I told. I'm gonna tell you just like I told that woman yesterday. You need to start dating right now.
I know exactly who you're talking about because I was listening yesterday.
This ain't no game. Black women be hoping on marriage and that shit don't ever happen for almost half. So this ain't no game. You got to do it now. You need to start dating right now.
Yes, I agree. I just prefer somebody like outside my race, but because of the stuff that I want in my marriage and stuff, most likely you're gonna only find that with men outside the black community because a lot of the black men, they don't have it. And I'm not trying to talk down on them or anything, but it's just the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even if I did want a kid, a lot of them, like you said in your video, a lot of them won't even get 2 jobs. A lot of them won't even further their education and stuff like that, and I would like my child to have something, you know what I mean? I want my child to be a part of different programs after school that might cost money. I want to be able to stay home with my child for at least the first 5 or 6 years of their life. You know what I'm saying? Then they can go off to school and stuff, and you know, it's stuff like that that I would want. But like in the Black community, it's gonna be hard. You most likely not gonna find it because a lot of the Black men, they don't believe in being providers. So it's like you might as well just date out.
Now, do not date any non-Black man who was a follower of Kevin Samuels. Find that out, because look, I've seen them. I've seen them on TikTok. There were non-Black men who followed Kevin Samuels too. You find that out. Do not date a wigger. Do not do it. Well, don't get me wrong. Some of them even still do get married. They will, but just please, just I'm telling you, just don't do it. Don't follow any white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever he is. If he's a part of the manosphere, find these things out. You know, do it innocently. You got to be like a little investigator, and don't talk to them. And no, you got to be careful. Okay, and they say a man knows within 6 months if he wants to marry you. At least that's this Asian man I saw talk. He said that he had got married and said he knew within 6 months, and that's how long it takes. And some of my supporters on here said that 6 months is long enough to know if they want to marry you. Hold on, this damn troll is back. Why I'm so
That's probably one of Kitten Samuel's followers.
No, it's some adult nudity thing. But yeah, the reason you can still date in your 30s, but the best time, you're in the prime of your life. And being that I've seen the disaster with Black women, years go by so fast that no, if you truly want to get married and to a man not Black, you need to start dating right now. And you say you're not gonna have sex, but a lot of women say that, and next thing you know, he touching you, right, and things happen. So it's just best to just still get on some birth control any damn way, or I don't know. You
I'm
do
really
what you.
good at like abstinence. I have self control. Like out of I had a guy like touch on me or whatever, and he respected me. I kind of told him, okay, I don't want to do anything. He said, oh, it's no problem. So I don't mind like affectionate. I don't mind little massages here and there. Like I know not to go far. Like you know what I mean? I can control myself. And I know that I know people in the chat probably like, no, you can't. But I'm like, I really can. Like I've done it before, and because I knew deep down inside, I'm like, nope. Having sex with me unless we're married.
Now,
I stood on that.
The average American man is not waiting for marriage on average. Some of them will. My thing is, are you going to let him know this way ahead of time so you do not waste your damn time? Because you'll be dating him for 3 months. He's going to try it. He's going to try it because he's a man. And he more than likely in America is not no damn virgin, especially not no older man. Like they not waiting for no damn coochie, not no older man. So and I would say the average man at least damn near 25 and up is not waiting on average. But are you gonna let them know this?
He's telling you he's gonna wait. He's gonna get it from somewhere else.
That is true.
I mean, I don't know. I've been following your channel for a long time, and it's like I don't know. I've been taught the game early, so I already know how men are and stuff. I do know they have the highest, sex drive and stuff like that. So they might tell you, yeah, sure, I can wait this and that.
Yeah.
But a couple of days ago, they got it from somewhere else. So
yeah.
That's why when he with you, he don't feel the need to do anything.
Yeah. And
but
that's the average man.
Yeah, I would just tell him. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not having this. I'm not paying for it. I'm very blunt. So I just because I don't want, any surprises. So I believe in letting people know stuff early. And if he's planning on exclusively dating you, I feel like certain conversations need to be had.
Now,
so there's no surprises.
Now, if he is having sex with someone on the side, which the average man who is not a virgin is going to do, Are you gonna make sure that before you get married, he's tested?
Yes, ma'am, because I do not play. I done met some people like that was around my age that's living with HIV, and it's just horrible, and because like I said, I work in healthcare, so I'm very big on like using condoms and stuff. I feel like nope, everybody needs to use condoms. Everybody needs to go get tested. And just like they say, never say what your man won't do. So, a lot of men when they do go out, get with somebody on the side, they don't always use protection. So I just feel like, y'all need to start getting tested. You know what I mean? And because it's nothing to play with. And even if he was to give you something, I think one of those STDs will cause like infertility. Am I saying that right?
A number of them will, if you're walking around with it and you don't know, which is you will. I mean, you can tell something's wrong when your discharge is a different color, but sometimes there are no symptoms and it affects your fallopian tubes and stuff. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I just feel like just get tested. If he has a problem, I don't want him sending me no documents. I have to actually be at the doctor's office. So, because I always say that because people know how to type up a paper real good and forge signatures and stuff.
Yes.
Doctors writing is chicken scratch. I work with doctors. I know what it is. So, anybody can make up a fake document and make up fake lab work. No, I got to be there with you. So, and I don't mind getting tested either because I know I don't have anything, but I do it to be fair. So, yeah, so we're going to go to the doctor together. We're going to get it read together. Because you're not giving me no paperwork, I'm not accepting that. So, yeah, that could have been typed up and stuff. So that's another thing I wanted to say to whoever's listening. Y'all go to the doctor together. If he has a problem with getting tested, don't have sex with him. Because obviously he might got something or, he has some sort of agenda. Like, no.
Yeah, they be scared. They be scared to do it because they know it could be a chance.
They be getting around.
And so if you're dating him, you told him, I'm not having sex until I'm married, and he says, okay. How long are you willing to wait to be proposed to?
Because like you said, a man would know within 6 months if he wants to marry you. Yeah, he knows that, like, he probably thinking, like, okay, I do know I'm going to marry her. She's what I want in a wife or whatever. And then, like, 6 months later, which adds up to a year, he marries you. Like, he actually proposed and stuff. So I can date somebody and wait a year, maybe a year and a half. No more than 2 years. No more than 3 years. I don't play that. Like I said, I've been taught the game early, so no, we're not doing that. He's taking forever to propose and stuff. He has to go. And I say that because, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's more to life than a man. You know what I mean? And so I felt like my mindset kind of geared towards, just live your life. It's more to life than a man. Make sure you have hobbies. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel down because he don't want to marry you. What one man won't do, another one will.
That's so true. So
I wouldn't even worry about it. I know I'm happy. I'm not going to, wait around for no ring. I don't do that. So, it's either you do or you don't.
So we started off where you said you didn't want kids, but if you end up married, then will you have kids?
No, because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because like I said, I would talk to him and let him know up front while we're like, dating or whatever. Because I feel like you have a right to know before tying the knot. You know what I'm saying? So, I will let him know. And I felt like, because I did do my research, there are child-free couples out there that's been married for like years, and all they do is like travel and, just do a lot of hobbies together, and they don't have any kids. And the group is on Facebook. And so they have a lot of child-free groups out there. It may be, like I said, it may be kind of hard to find a man who just really don't want kids like you do, but there are couples out there that been married for years and they never had children.
Well, let me ask you this though. You're going to be having sex with your husband. He's not going to be using condoms. That's just he's not. And are you going to get your tubes tied so that you do not get pregnant? Because if you're having sex with him, the likelihood of pregnancy is extremely high. You're sleeping with your husband. So are you going to get your tubes tied, or do you want him to get a vasectomy?
Honestly, I am kind of scared of like surgeries and stuff. So I don't know. I would have to ask my doctor about the process of getting your tubes tied because I'm not educated on that. And honestly, yeah, I would like for him to have a vasectomy because I don't want to use, condoms with my husband either. I want us to be able to, just be us. But yeah, I am aware that you could make a mistake and end up pregnant or whatever. But like I say, for child-free women, you would have to find somebody that's child-free just like you. And if he did have the vasectomy already, if he gives you paperwork, you better contact whatever doctor's on that paper because you have to make sure that paperwork is right.
Okay.
So they can't make up documents. Men are they'll do anything for sex or for babies or whatever. So that's why I don't believe in just looking at a document he gives you. Why do you have these papers on you? You know what I mean? So they'll get in touch with that doctor. Find out everything.
Okay. So listen, I thank you for your call.
Absolutely. I just thought y'all call in because I didn't hear nobody else calling in. So.
Well, I thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Someone just called. 15 years about what, Sinvera and Trish? What's 15 years? You said 15 years is too long.
Greetings.
Hello, this is Cerebral. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
We are live.
Cerebral?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Okay. I actually was over listening to a conversation today about children and
Yes.
the choice to have no children. I'm an old lady.
Are you in your, you said 61?
61.
51?
Yeah. 60.
61. Are you child free?
Yes, I am.
How old were you when you knew you did not want to have kids?
It was a trial. When I was very young, I would often say I wanted like 6 or 7 kids. By the time I got, and then it became a thing where I don't have kids until I'm married. And then after I was married quite a while, after I was married some years, like close to 7 years, I realized that I just didn't want kids. It wasn't the outer circumstance.
Now, hold on. You were married for 7 years. Y'all are having sex together.
I was married for longer than that.
Longer, but was there difficulty getting pregnant? Because before you decided you didn't want kids, was there issues having the kids before that?
It was actually no medical difficulty with either of us. And I don't know where the turn came with him, but it was just every year I just decided, okay, next year. Okay, I'll be ready next year. You know what? Next year, I'm definitely ready. But that time never came, so I just said to myself, well, I don't want this.
How did
you have all the circumstances, the typical circumstances where you feel it's safe to have kids, but I just realized it's not something that I wanted.
And how did he take it? And did this affect the marriage?
No. I'm laughing because I was just listening to the other young lady, and I'm just also here to tell all women, don't be afraid to hand a man a condom. They're not going anywhere. They're not walking away. They're not putting on their pants and leaving. They're not doing that. Hand them the condom.
Okay. And
I'm telling you, it's just that easy. I hit a okay, like okay.
I know, I hear you. Now,
Hand them the condom.
but I agree. But I know
I've seen tears. I had a guy use 2 condoms one time when I was younger. He cried alligator tears while he was trying to roll the second one on top of the first one. Don't be afraid. It's your body.
yes. Now I was just thinking about, when you get married, we both want to have sex the natural way if we're married. I mean, even though you can't trust even your fucking husbands no more, but you do.
Every now and again, every blue, now you can't, of course, you roll in the dice. Every blue moon, maybe we do it without a condom, but if he is if you're settled in your decision, you just keep them everywhere. Keep them in the car, keep them under the couch, keep them in the bedroom, keep them in the silverware drawer in the kitchen. Keep them everywhere. Keep them in your purse. Keep them in, the glove compartment for the quickie in the car.
Okay. Yes.
Most men aren't trying to have babies either, consciously.
Yeah, a lot of them just don't even be thinking straight at all, especially once they're,
You have to be the one to think straight and not allow nature to do what men are designed to do. If one decides they don't want kids, it's then your responsibility.
Now,
to make sure that doesn't happen.
You said that after 7 years of the marriage, you realized you didn't want kids. Now, are you still married, or did y'all get divorced?
We divorced about 4 years ago.
Okay. And
but not because of children, and he doesn't have children.
Did any of your family members say anything? Anybody ask you, are y'all gonna have kids?
Yeah, but it's about what you want. The women, you always get blamed for, things like that. But if you don't want kids, it's on you.
I'm just trying to think what happened when you said when you were younger you wanted 7 children, you said? You had that dream and desire for children, but then you got married and then you no longer wanted children. Were you happy?
You asked the other young lady, the same thing you asked the other young lady. It's usually a trauma sometimes. I feel like possibly I thought of the women in my family just kind of putting up with too much from the men.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to ask you a personal question because my spirit is telling me, I don't know, were you unhappy in your marriage and it made you not want to have his children?
I actually was, until close to the end, I felt like I was happy or content. I just didn't want kids. I love kids. I love children. The little ones, the junior high, senior high. But it's an awesome responsibility. And if you don't have, you can do it. It's been done. Plenty of times over the millennia by women. But if you don't have that security, you, sometimes it becomes a big task. And it's a big task when you have someone with you. It's a big task to raise a decent human being.
Okay, and I agree with you. I don't know, I hear sadness a little bit in your voice. Now, I could be wrong, but was there trauma that affected you to wanting to have kids?
Yeah, I just, the only thing I could really think of was that I just saw them as a limitation of freedom.
Okay.
Like I travel, when I want to travel, a person with kids can't just get up and travel. Not to say you can't go if you don't have the means or like you need your partner's permission, but if you're a decent parent, you just can't get up and go. You have to make arrangements. Who's going to keep your kids? Who's going to watch you know what I mean? It's you can't just do what you want to do. Something has to give.
Okay. Well, look,
I
sometimes,
like to travel and I like to, I like to do a lot of get up and go and maybe it's not the best for kids. I'm a little old fashioned. Kids have a little, they shouldn't, I don't know. I don't think they should be switching schools and because you want to travel and I think they need a level of stability. And if you have a freedom loving personality, maybe it's worth it.
okay. So it does sound like the desire for it just went away. And that can happen. So
I wondered if it was the opposite, like if it was programmed.
they do program.
Because I never had I rejected baby dolls. I rejected baby dolls growing up, but I enjoyed, once the Barbie came out, I enjoyed playing with the little adult dolls. I never wanted to babysit. I liked my little cousins and all of that, and I would play with them, but I never wanted to keep them.
There's a lady on TikTok who says they they try to brainwash you early with the little doll houses with a vacuum cleaner and and I know a lot of men would say, most women, you should naturally have that desire to have a baby.
Both of my parents come from very big families, so maybe it was the unconscious programming that a woman shouldn't have so many kids because then you'll never fulfill your own desires.
You know what's a crazy thing I used to think about? How did women back in the day avoid not having at least damn near 15 to 20 kids? Because you get married, let's say you end up married at 19. Shit, you have a menstrual cycle. They didn't have birth control back then. Your husband's sleeping with you unprotected more than likely. I would think the women would end up pregnant every single year. I always found it interesting how in the world did these women back in the day avoid having a boatload of kids?
My parents had a boatload of kids on each side, so I just think maybe it was because they were entrapped in families where hand-me-down clothes and, once you have so many kids, it's difficult to take care of them. Physically, emotionally, so they kind of always confronted that, okay, be who you want to be, but you can't be who you want to be if you're pregnant, you got a house full of kids.
So do you have any regrets at all about not having kids? Do you feel content about it? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
What makes you feel fulfilled?
Because it's my choice. Like medically, I'm not robbed of it, you know what I mean? Or I'm not browbeaten to it. It's my choice. It's my choice.
Okay.
So I'm fine with my choice. You know, like you have to live with the decisions you make, especially, you know, at my age.
There's a lot of women who decided not to have kids, and more than what people realize, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not rare. Just some people are shocked because they think that every woman desires it, you know, or you haven't fulfilled your purpose.
That's the stereotype, you know. I have men, I date, I have men that's like, oh, you have kids. I think that's the biggest mistake. Because women can not have kids, you know. I find it funny.
Yeah, I don't like anyone telling me what would make me happy. Like, it's my life, okay?
But at the same time, if I brush it off, I think that's how they're programmed.
What's so sad is that you have men who feel like...
There's so many women that will have kids, and there's so many women that do have kids under good circumstances, and under duress. Maybe if I was a man, I would wonder if that's true too, that, okay, women just want to have...
You know what's crazy is that some of the same men who are saying women must have kids, these men get you pregnant, but they don't want to be fathers. That's insane to me. They're bringing babies on the earth, but then they don't take care of their own children. That's insane to me. They just want to exist. They just want their blood to exist, you know? So that's, you know.
The condom is the test.
Yes. So.
Hand them a condom. If they're willing to put on a condom.
Okay. So listen, I thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. So I guess she is the last caller of the day. I hope y'all can hear me. My computer is moving a little bit. Okay. It was moving a little bit slow, my computer. The phone line is now closed. I thank you all for your calls. This was such a good topic, and I want to talk more about very similar things in the very near future. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is play those clips again, and while it's okay, hold on. This will be the last call. Uh-oh, she hung up. Call back, KB. Let me call her back. Thank you, Sasha. Check out my other video, Sasha. I was curious, who is SCS? I kind of think I know who you're talking about, but I wasn't sure. Oh, yes, hold on one second. Yes.
Hi, Cerebral.
Hello.
Hi, this is KB.
Hey, KB, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. You see what today's topic is about? Are you child free?
I do. I am, and I really want to chime in on this because I know that from my experience, there's a stigma when you're a woman and you don't have children. And I just kind of wanted to share that for me, I'm 51, by the way, and I'm not married. And I've never been married, but I was in a long-term relationship for a few years ago, and actually he was Hispanic, okay, and that kind of goes with, when you go outside, sometimes you have to go outside the Black community to get someone who will really treat you well. But what I wanted to say was that I don't have children, but I didn't choose it initially, but what ended up happening is as I got older, when you're younger, you have this idea, okay, I'm going to find this guy, he's going to love me, But as I got older and I started to understand that men have preferences that are, in most cases, Black men especially, that are it's unrealistic because they expect us to be, we hold them down. We're supposed to take care of them, but they don't reciprocate that back to us. But I also had friends that I grew up with that ended up being single parents, which being able to witness that and see that made me think, would I be willing to be a single parent if it just so happened that I don't get married? And when I was dating, when I was younger, between my 20s and my 40s, I dated in the last year, but especially in my 20s, mostly my 30s and my 40s, when I did date, I had to make a decision. Did I want a man in my life that wasn't going to treat me well or wasn't going to commit to me? Do I want to invest my energy in this and take the risk of being a single parent and hurt my children?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a teenager, I don't know if any listeners can relate to this. I came up in the 90s. Like, I was in college, I was in my 20s, and as a Black woman, it's kind of like they prepared you to, have your own money, get an education, be able to provide for yourself, because it's like, don't get this idea a man's gonna marry you and be with you and take care of you. And, I didn't want to believe that, but as I got older and I started dating and having experiences with men and going through abuse and rejection and not being the preference, I started to think, wow, is this what it's going to be like? So I just kind of wanted to,
Hold on now.
My opinion about it.
You said you're dating a Hispanic man?
Not now. We were dating it was about a year ago. But at the time I was in Arizona, but I had to move since then. So we kind of parted ways. But actually, this is ironic because I grew up, the majority of my life, I would say about the last 30 years, I grew up in the South. I'm originally from Louisiana. I lived in Texas for like 20 years. And during COVID, I ended up relocating to the Southwest. So I'm currently in New Mexico because of family. I have more family out here. But when I was in Arizona, that's when I had more of the Hispanic experience. Because I was so stuck on, I got to have a Black man. I got to have a Black man. But when it got to the point where I wasn't treated with the same respect and regard as maybe a woman of a different ethnicity, I had to decide, what am I going to do? And then I'm in my 50s now. It's like, oh my God. I live with this hope and this idea that I'm going to get this man. He's going to love me. I'm a good woman. I'm a college educated woman. I'm attractive. What's going on? So, yeah.
Okay. Now, was he the first person you ever dated interracially with?
Yes, he was.
Are you still open to it?
Definitely. Experience had to teach me to open my mind. Because when I was in the South, I went to college. I went to a historically Black college. I lived in a Black community, and I kept running into this, I love you, I want to be with you, and the next thing you know, they pulling away, or I'm getting this intuition that this man may not be he's telling me everything I want to hear. He's coming across like he's really into me. And then the next thing I know, he doesn't call, or he misses the date, or, I kind of give them, the benefit of the doubt. And then I find out they're in a whole other relationship. Or I find out that, they're kind of stringing me along. Fortunately, because I'm more of an intuitive person, I'm really intuitive. So, when my gut tells me something, I'm at a point where well, even then I didn't realize it, but when my gut told me something, I'd say 90% of the time it was right. 90% I could trust it. And usually it turned out the guy was not what I thought he was. But it wasn't because I didn't want it. I truly did. And I guess the reason I'm calling is because, you know, I think people get the idea that we start off saying, I don't want you, because fortunately I've been blessed to have a community of younger women in my life that I've been able to, you know, I've been able to sow into or give to. Even though I don't have children, I have an opportunity to be a mother figure. I'm glad that I had that opportunity, but ideally, I really wanted to be a mother. And I guess I'm saying this because people get this idea that, you know, you want to be selfish and you don't want to give yourself to someone, and that absolutely wasn't true for me. But you can't make a man love you, you know?
That's true. That is so damn true. And it can be hard. It's hard. It's hard when they don't love you back and you keep giving your all, you keep being there for them, and they just keep fucking just squashing your heart like you a bug, you know? But you gotta just be.
And I, no, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, it's just.
No, I was gonna say, because I was one of those women that would negotiate and give them leeway, but I realized that if I kept doing that, I was gonna end up, you know, being. I don't know if it's gonna sound ugly, but I knew that if I didn't start to accept a certain reality that these men, I have to look at men more from how you treat me is how you feel about me. That's the way I look at them. It's like how you treat me is how you feel about me.
Yes.
I love from the head before I love from the heart now.
And let me tell you something else, though. A man a man could catch feelings, and he might treat you like shit. Some of them will treat you like shit even more once they start catching feelings for you, because they don't like the control they feel you have over their heart. They think they got to give up their player ways, and they don't want you to like them, so they'll treat you like shit so that you'll start to not like them, so that it will be easier to end the relationship, so you don't get attached. Some men is just trifling, and a lot of them, when those men, when they start getting bold with their mouth, they start just talking reckless, saying shit to hurt your feelings, laugh it off, or just not laugh at all, but just tell you to your face smart stuff, and and sometimes women are way nicer than a lot of men,
Oh, definitely. Oh, yes, that's true.
Men can be mean as a motherfucker.
Sometimes I feel that we can be too nice, and when you're like that, see, that's the thing I've realized with men. Men are more predators. Like, if they feel that you have an easiness about you, like you willing, but in their mind they're thinking, okay, I'm just gonna take. I'm gonna, get the sex, get the money, whatever their intentions are. If they find that you have this weakness or this thing in you, they'll take advantage of it, and, I don't think all men are that way, but I have met men that, they're like that. They if she's willing to do this for me and I can get away with it, well, I'm just going to take advantage. And that's why I think as women, I've learned, this is personal, if your intuition tells you or you get this gut feeling or something that don't feel right, you just got to follow it.
So listen, do you feel any regrets about not having kids? Do you still desire kids at all?
I do, but I had to resolve that within myself. I did want children, but I'm okay with being a godmother.
What about adoption?
I'm thinking about that. That's funny you said that, because I'm definitely thinking, if not adoption, I would be willing to be a foster parent.
Okay. Do you have any pets? I don't care what people say about being a cat lady. I love cats, little kittens and puppies. Do you have any of those?
I don't. I have plants.
Girl, get you a cat.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They are so loving. They will change your life. Ain't nothing like a cat or a puppy, but a cat, because you don't have to take the cat out for walks and to go to the bathroom. They are so loving.
And they are cleaner.
They so cute and loving, girl. I highly suggest you get a cat. It ain't nothing like it. They babies. They are babies. And the fostering, like you said, is a good idea too. So, did your family react a certain way about you not having kids? Do they say anything?
I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so my parents were married for 31 years before my mom passed away, and my father raised me. I have 4 brothers, no sisters. And I'm gonna tell you, they were more concerned with me not ending up with an abusive guy, because I did have a situation where a guy wasn't, he wasn't treating me right. And they were more concerned about me not getting into a relationship with a man who was going to abuse me, mistreat me, cheat on me, and everything, than they were me having children. Now, my father did say, he wanted me to have grandkids. He has one granddaughter, my niece, but then he wanted me to have a child. But at the end of the day, he understood that he knew he didn't want me to struggle. He didn't want me to be a single parent and be mistreated, by a man, by a guy. Because, I had a number of friends that had men that they were dating. Now, don't get me wrong, I have friends who were married and been married for years. But then I have other friends, actually, I've known since college, that had children, and they ended up being single parents. Or they ended up with a guy that had to chase them down and catch them with the other woman and try to break them up. And once they break that up, then they back with another woman. So it was just this cycle that I wanted to believe in the fantasy, but I kept seeing this cycle repeat itself. Plus, I went through a situation. I actually had a miscarriage before.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I just wanted to kind of chime in and share, that some of us are in this situation, but it definitely isn't a choice. And, I still feel like, I had an opportunity to be encouraging and try to give and be helpful to other young women who don't have mothers, and I've had women who had young women that do have mothers, but they just need a different perspective sometimes. Sometimes you can hear it better from a stranger than you can from your own parents sometimes.
That is so true. So, the last thing I want to ask you is, what makes you feel fulfilled?
At this point, I'm able to travel more. I have gotten to the point where I've been exposed to other cultures. I'm getting a passport this year because I live on the border. Me and my family, we are planning a trip to Mexico. I plan on going there. I've never been to New York. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I've been to San Diego. Now I want to go to New York. Ultimately, I would love to leave the country. I really want to go to Ghana. So what fulfills me at this point is being able to give to other people that may not have a mother figure, because I can have, I don't know, it's almost like, because I have this maternal thing in me, it's like I'm able to give that to other women that don't have a mother. So that's fulfilling to me, to be able to give someone hope or encourage them, and being able to have the freedom to travel and have the freedom to answer the phone at 2 in the morning if somebody needs to talk. So that to me is what fulfills me, being able to give to other people.
Okay. I think, girl, keep living your life, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was trying to type something too in the chat, but I thank you for your call. I thank you so much. Call me again.
And thank you for listening. I will. Thank you, Sareba, for listening. I love your energy.
Thank you.
I love your platform. You know, you probably see me in the chat all the time, but I just wanted to reach out and say thanks for listening, taking my call, and I will be continuing to listen in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Oh, so sweet. She was so nice. Okay. So, yeah, I said in the chat, yes, cats for the win. Okay, I don't play. I do not play. Ain't nothing. A cat will change your life, I'm telling you. Because I wasn't always a cat person until my baby. I mean, she showed me how cats really are. I couldn't believe it. She was everything. You know, when she died, she waited for me and I held her hand. Yeah, of course I couldn't take it and was crying. I held her when she passed in my arms. I took her to the window to show her the light and I talked to her and I had her buried. I had her buried at a pet cemetery because there was no way I could put her in a trash can. She was my baby. I could not do her like that. So, yeah, I got a cat now. Yes, she is a Siamese and people, yes, some cats can be standoffish, but my cat, they love to be babied and they lick on you and follow you. They just want to be a part of the conversation. At least the Siamese. Siamese are known to be very social. And she always just wants to be a part of the conversation and come around and just sit and listen and, you know, um, get pet on the stomach and, you know, take all my kisses and be purring all loud and winking her eyes at me, telling me she loved me all the time. Oh, I tell you. So that's it for this live. Also, let me clear up something when I said I would kill someone for my mom. Um, what I mean by that, I'm not saying if my mom told me to go kill somebody, I'm going to kill him. But if somebody was to try to harm my mama physically and stuff, like you trying to do that to her, or if it were to happen, oh, you going to deal with me. I'm not forgiven. I would never forgive anyone who hurts my mom, like literally hurts her. I'm not forgiving that. No, absolutely not. And yeah, I'm not, no. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. I got the troll back again. It's a little bit of, okay. So, this has been a good live. Okay, everything is moving just a tad bit slow. I hope that the buffering is not severe. Okay. Give me a second. I'm sure y'all will let me know if you can still hear me. DJ says I would never cross you. That's one thing you don't want to do to a Libra. Don't you ever fucking cross me. That's all I'll say. That don't mean we always gonna try to, you know, physically fight, but the relationship. Because we really take being crossed serious, especially by somebody I love or who I thought was my friend. Oh, Lord. But a lot of Libra people typically will just cut you off. Just cut you off. You're out my life. I'm not dealing with you. We can be ruthless when it comes to cutting off emotionally from people. So, okay, DJ is a Libra too, so you already know. So what I'm going to do, I want this live to stay up and it's moving, all this buffering. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to end this live now. And I thank you all for joining me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you're notified when I go live because we got some things to talk about. Oh, yes, a lot more. In the future, another topic I want to talk about, I had mentioned it in the community section, is called I am plus size and I have never taken care of no man. Oh, yes, we're going to talk about that too because of stereotypes, okay? Plenty of plus size women do not pay bills of men, okay? So I want them to call in to clear that up. That's in the future, all right? So bye, y'all. Have a good afternoon.